Welcome back to HowToAV.tv. You join us back at ISE 2017, Europe's biggest professional AV show. And today we've got one of the true industry experts with us from Infocomm. We've got Chuck Espinoza. Chuck, thanks for joining us again.
Thank you, my pleasure, my pleasure.
So, if you want to know about the latest technologies here at the show, and if you want to know, more importantly, what's coming in the future, Chuck is absolutely the man to know from Infocomm. Chuck, what are we going to see at the show this year that's so exciting in the new technology world?
Oh, there's a bunch of stuff out, a bunch of new display technologies coming out. You know, 4K has been around for a couple of years, but they're really starting to make the monitors smaller, more available. The costs are coming down. Drones. Drones. I can't say enough about drones. We've had them for a few years, and people are finally starting to realize the importance and how you can use drones in your businesses and how we're going to use them in everyday life. They're getting to be hot. Drones are hot. There's a lot more coming down the pike, I think, in augmented reality and virtual reality. You know, before 3D kind of fell off the edge of the earth. We came out with 3D and everybody thought these glasses, and it really wasn't the thing we were looking for. But now the new augmented reality, when you can actually move from one table to another and still keep the same image, or take your image from your computer screen to your desk, that's a whole different ballgame. In virtual reality, of course, you know, that's not wearing the glasses just to see the screen pop out more. That's everything around you. You're immersed in the entire world of this, what you're doing. And with gloves and the augmented sound, you can really do a lot more in the spaces of what you're doing, a lot more in the engineering sectors, you know, when you can actually go into an engine to figure out what's the little widget that's not functioning properly. So I think you're going to see a lot more of augmented reality and virtual reality.
And of course, one of the great benefits of that is you don't have to be in the same room to work on a design together.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're getting to the point where it's going to be like the Star Trek, you know, somebody's sitting across the table, but they're a hologram, and the thing you're working on is a hologram, and it's in a factory somewhere else, and as soon as we're done, they're going to 3D print and get it to production. That's real life now. That's real life, and I think we're going to see a lot more of that in the future. I think we're going to start seeing a lot more virtual reality and augmented reality in higher education, and even in the primary education, getting kids more involved. Adults, it was kind of hard for us to adopt 3D glasses, you know, putting these things on just to watch TV. But you give kids a headset, and they're gold. And if they grow up like that, that's not going to be a new thing. That's not going to be something different or difficult. That's going to be how things are done. Crystal ball's next 10, 15 years. Well, I know there was talk about Japan broadcasting the Olympics in 8K. I think 8K is going to start to come on the rise, and it's, you know, we just started getting into 4K content, having the 4K content readily available to more people, the Red Ray players, and more devices being able to do that 4K. And now they're looking at 8K. I'm really curious to see if we're going to be able to do that. The bandwidth for 8K is huge. Sitting down doing the calculations, you finally realize, wow, we're going to need bigger wires or a different type of medium. And I think we're going to see some different mediums coming up and kind of supplementing what we need for those higher speeds. There has to be something. Some different chipsets are going to be coming out. There has to be something to get that huge amount of bandwidth through the air, through the networks.
And when we talk about 8K, in the real world, we're all going to say, do I really need 8K? Why do we need 8K in the future?
Well, at this point, we've gotten to the point where our eyes can only pick up so much, and in 4K we're really pushing it. But then when you start looking at an 8K screen, there's so much more real estate you can see with that same amount of clarity. Now we can make huge displays, massive displays that still have the clarity of small 4Ks. The processing power that are going to be in those displays are going to be incredible. And we have it now. We just need to make it work for those, you know, getting those pixels to change and all those pixels. But I think being able to see more real estate, being able to see more of a football field or more of a sporting event, I think that's going to come into play, and people are going to want that. They're going to find out that they really like that. Everyone's going to want the IMAX experience at home. And once they get it, they're not going to want to let it go. So I think that having that extra real estate is really going to come in handy.
That said, we don't need to panic. We don't need to be looking for the 8K TVs at the moment. 4K is great. You know, UHD is brilliant. Don't panic if you're looking on the market. Am I right?
Yeah, I don't think we'll see those coming out any time within the next year or two. I think they're just starting to break out on the market, and you know, to get the market penetration and to get people using them at home and whatnot, it's going to take, I would say, between 4 and 5 years to really start cycling through. There's got to be content. You know, 4K right now is getting adopted as everyone's home television. Everyone wants a 4K TV, and they bring their 4K TV home and they plug it into their 1080i cable box, which is broadcasting a 720p signal. And right now, like, I'm looking at the camera and I notice it's a 4K camera. We're just getting into taping that and then processing it. To do that on a broadcast platform, there's going to be some infrastructure that needs to be upgraded to actually get that through the pipe. So I wouldn't run out right now and buy a 4K. You know, there's going to be the early adopters are going to get them and go through the trials and tribulations, just like we did when HDMI first came out and any new platform. 4K first came out. Hey, it looks great, but something's just not right. It's the sync and the audio and the video and the processing. But now they're doing well. 4Ks are doing really well, and the processing. That's one thing I will say. That display is meant to process a 4K image. When you have 1080 up, it has 4 times the processing power on those pixels. It looks really good. Really good. So I think those will be into the homes and into the office spaces within the next 4 or 5 years, and then we'll start looking for 8K.
So some really exciting technologies here at the show. Even more excitement to come in the future. Chuck, thanks for your insights. Really great to see you. Keep watching HowToAV.tv for all the latest from the AV industry. Don't forget to subscribe for all our latest videos. And if you've got any questions or any comments, please leave them in the comments section below. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.